Hi, welcome to lesson 12 in our short series of 14 videos introducing you to satellite Earth observation. In this video, we're going to look at something a little bit more complicated. We're going to bring two data sets together just to mask out some of the data that we might not be interested in. The data set we're going to look at, the first data set we're going to look at is above ground biomass. So this is the forest biomass that you can use to calculate carbon. We offer a number of different data layers at global scale to help calculate forest carbon. We realize that these different biomass products, some of them are better in some areas of the world than others, so you've got a choice to choose the one that is most suitable for your area of interest. For this particular example, though, I'm going to use the European Space Agency's above ground biomass global data product. It's available for 2010, 17, 18, 19 and 20, but I'm only going to use 2020. We're just going to look at a single year here. So I change the date on there. And we're going to add up an area, and to help emphasize what we can do at scale, I'm going to look at the whole of Brazil. So we're going to load that area up, the country area. Automatically chooses Brazil in the drop down menu. I'm also going to change the color to something that suits me in terms of the color output. Let me choose my favorite one is speed. That's the one. Let's run that. We'll get a map layer on our map that shows us the variation in above ground biomass across the entirety of Brazil. You'll notice that because we're using a statistical scaling on here, goes from about 0 to almost 300 tons per hectare. There'll be individual data pixels in here that are higher than that. But remember, most of the remote sensing satellites available just now saturate a little bit near 200 or 300 tons per hectare, and data above that is much harder to map. But we can see the general trends here in the above ground biomass across the Amazon. But what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom into a particular area. Let me just switch this off so I can zoom in. I'm going to choose an area so we can look at it in a little bit more detail. Is that what I'm interested in looking at is an area here that we've got. Let's just draw here. And you'll notice that that area 1 now appears in our drop down menu automatically. So I can run that for area 1. And what we'll see is a variation in the forest biomass over this area. But you'll notice that the water areas kind of get lost in here with the land areas. It sets it correctly at 0 tons per hectare, but we can't quite see where the water is. So what I'm going to do is input a different data layer. And this time I'm going to go to a landcover product. We've got multiple different landcover products for different applications, but I'm going to go for the European Space Agency's world cover dataset. It's 10 meter and it's also at 2020. Going to make sure I've only got the 2020 data, and if I run this for area 1, the small area that we're looking at, you'll see that it gets it picks out where the water is, as well as areas of in terms of the forest. Now what I'm going to do is introduce from the map layer on the toolbox, I can add save data for reuse. So this is my land cover, and then in the data block that's looking at the workflow that's looking at the biomass, I'm going to go to the filters and I'm going to choose the mask out part of the image. So what I'm going to do is here from the drop down, I can either use the biomass layer itself to choose the criteria for the mask, or I can use the land cover that comes from this workflow. And so what I'm going to say is that where that equals open water, it's going to mask that out. I'm going to just disable the block that visualizes the land cover because we don't need to see that. And so this time what's going to happen is it's going to show the biomass layer, but it's going to mask out those areas of water. So they're now being removed and you can see the underlying map beneath it. And this is just one simple case of where we've taken two different data sets and combined them to produce a different data product that suits our purpose more specifically. Now in the next lesson we're going to look at some of the templates that are available. It's going to jump up a gear now because we're going to have multiple workflows, lots of different blocks. I'll explain a little bit about what they're doing, but show you how you can run these templates.